Thank you. Well, the inquest process has mixed feedback in our community. Some say it's fair and it works, while others want it changed. Reporter Chris Saldana talked to the ACLU, the Police Protective Association, and Sheriff Gillespie's opponent in the November election. So, Chris, what are they saying?
Well, Denise, it all depends on who you ask. They all, though, agree that improvements to the process are needed. The coroner's inquest is meant to provide the public with a better understanding of why police were forced to kill a suspect. But those we talked to say police are getting away with too many shootings and want to see some kind of change.
The crime scene is far from over when an officer is forced to shoot and kill someone. A coroner's inquest follows weeks later. Alan Lichtenstein with the ACLU says this system is not fair.
The biggest flaw is it is a one-sided process. It's called the coroner's inquest. It's really not the coroner's inquest. It's the DA's inquest.
He has his own ideas on how to improve the process.
Have an advocate for the deceased who has no voice, who can't speak for himself, to be able to look at the evidence, to ask questions, to actually be a participant, and to cross-examine witnesses.
During the inquest in the case of Tre'von Cole, officers were grilled for hours, some having to answer more than 300 questions.
Our officers were prosecuted and cross-examined, even though they had never been charged with a crime of any kind.
Chris Collins with the Metro Police Protective Association says the coroner's inquest were not made for officers to be presumed guilty before a jury's decision.
And the inquest system continues down this path where the questions have no relevance to the shooting at all. I would not participate in that process. I would take the fifth, and I would refuse to participate.
Officer Lori Bish is running for sheriff, despite a system that found one of her fellow officers justifiable in shooting a suspect. She says she will seek that change if elected.
Appointing a special prosecutor to present the coroner's inquest. You know, have homicide do what they do. They get the case ready, they present it, but give it to a special prosecutor, not somebody within the DA's office.
If there were ever a change to the process, the Clark County commissioners are the ones who would have to vote for those changes. Dave?